Okay, when you think of a penguin, what pops into your head? Probably a cute bird in a little tuxedo, right? Waddling across the ice. But what if I told you their life is way more complex, surprising, and honestly, dramatic than we ever imagined? Let's dive into the secret life of penguins.
And to kick things off, let's just start with a question you've probably never even thought to ask. Can a penguin get a divorce? Just keep that in the back of your mind, because the answer is going to reveal just how much we've underestimated these birds.
All right, first up, we're going beyond the tuxedo. We're going to completely deconstruct that classic, simple image to see what's really going on.
To start with, this whole idea of the penguin as one single thing, yeah, that's a total myth. There isn't just one kind. There are actually 18 different species out there, and each one has its own unique way of doing things.
And the difference between them is just wild. On one end of the spectrum, you've got the tiny little penguin standing just 40 centimeters tall. Then, on the other end, you have the incredible emperor penguin, which is nearly 3 times taller and more than 30 times heavier.
And you know that classic image of them only living in the freezing cold? You can throw that out the window too. Sure, lots of them are in Antarctica, but penguins are all over the Southern Hemisphere. You'll find them on the coasts of South America, Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and get this, even on the tropical Galapagos Islands, right on the equator.
So, what about that famous tuxedo? Well, it's not a fashion statement. It's actually a masterpiece of natural design. It's called countershading, and it's a brilliant form of camouflage that's perfectly suited for a life in the ocean.
Think about it. It's the ultimate ocean disguise. If you're a predator looking up from the deep, that white belly just vanishes against the bright sunny surface. And if you're looking down from above, their black back just disappears into the dark, murky water below. Genius.
And they need that camouflage, because while we see them waddling on land, penguins are truly creatures of the ocean. They are absolute masters of the deep. I mean, they're basically living torpedoes. Their flippers aren't for flying in the air, they're for flying through the water, like powerful propellers. Their bodies are perfectly streamlined, their webbed feet work like rudders for steering, and get this, unlike most birds that have hollow bones to be light, penguins have dense, heavy bones to help them dive deep.
And just how deep can they go? Well, an emperor penguin has been recorded diving over 500 meters down. That's deeper than the height of the Empire State Building, and they can hold their breath for up to 7 minutes to do it. It's just an astonishing feat.
This is why, even though we see them on land in documentaries, that's really only a tiny part of their story. They spend up to 75% of their entire lives in the ocean. Sometimes they don't even step on solid ground for months at a time.
Now, to survive out there in the ocean for that long, they've developed some truly bizarre and brilliant internal superpowers.
But think about it for a second. If you're at sea for months, where do you get fresh water? The short answer is you don't. So how on earth do they survive drinking nothing but salty ocean water?
The answer is just incredible. They have a special gland right above their eyes that basically works like their own personal water filter. It pulls the extra salt right out of their bloodstream and then they sneeze it out. No, really, they literally sneeze out pure salt.
And if you thought that was weird, check this out. They're carnivores, right? They live on fish, squid, and krill, but scientists have found out they actually can't taste umami, which is the flavor we associate with meat. So they're carnivores that can't even taste the meat they're eating. They just swallow it all whole.
Their own biology is strange enough, but things get even more interesting when they all get together. Their social lives are super complex, and it's not always as cuddly as it looks.
You know, during that brutal Antarctic winter, emperor penguins depend on massive cooperation just to survive. They form these gigantic huddles for warmth, with as many as 5,000 penguins packed together to fight off temperatures that can drop to minus 40 degrees. And this isn't just some static group hug. It's a living, breathing system of fairness. There's this constant rotation going on. The birds on the cold outside slowly push their way into the warm middle, while the penguins who've had a chance to warm up move to the outside to take their turn in the cold. It's this incredible act of community survival.
But it's not all cooperation, and that brings us back to that very first question. While penguins are monogamous for a breeding season, many of them do not mate for life. Penguin divorce is the actual term for when a penguin ditches its old partner for a new one, even if the old partner is still around. It can get pretty dramatic, sometimes even leading to fights. So the answer is yes, penguins can and do get divorced.
All of these amazing adaptations and these complicated behaviors have let penguins thrive for millions and millions of years. But right now, they're facing a really uncertain future.
And this is why this all really matters. Out of the 18 penguin species we know of, more than half of them are now considered under threat. We've got 5 species listed as endangered and another 7 as vulnerable. That's not a good picture.
And the threats they're facing are huge, and almost all of them come from us. Climate change is melting the sea ice they need to survive, overfishing is taking away their food, and pollution like oil spills can just wipe out entire colonies.
Now, there are protections in place. The Antarctic Treaty of 1959, which has been signed by 54 nations, makes it illegal to hunt penguins down there. But a treaty can't stop the ice from melting, which is why all of these ongoing conservation efforts are so incredibly important. So we see them as these simple, charming birds in tuxedos. But the truth is, they're incredibly complex survivors, perfectly adapted over millions of years for a very specific world. And that leaves us with a really tough question. What happens when that world starts changing faster than they can?